Hey everyone, this is Susan with Stain and Stitches is my Flosstube channel. I am going to reboot um, my Flosstube channel. I haven't recorded consistently or often enough, and it's been a good while, so I'm kind of rebooting it and starting over, and so I'm going to consider this Flosstube #1 reboot. Um, I really want to try to give it a good go this time, to be a part of the stitching community and to share, to learn things. I think we can always keep learning. Um, so I just really want to get back into sharing my works in progress. I hadn't stitched until the last several months. And I was having to deal with some things in life as we do, and I just didn't have. I don't want to talk too much about it because then I'll start crying. I lost my mom back in January to cancer, and it was kind of sudden. She was 68. Um, she had lung cancer, and it was in her left lung, and it was too close to her heart, so it was inoperable. They had her doing chemo and radiation. I'm sorry. Ugh, I had something on my mouth. And about this time last year, I'd say the 1st of October, they thought she had blood cancer. And well, they cleared her of that, and the doctor said she's always had asthma and she had COPD and stuff like that. She's a very heavy smoker. She was still smoking. She'd cut back quite a bit, but she was still smoking at the time of her passing. And so the doctor said her lungs didn't sound good, so they sent her for a chest x-ray at the hospital after they said, no, you don't have, after they ran some tests and stuff, and after a handful of visits, you don't have blood cancer, because she'd kind of told us all, me and the kids, and then when they sent her for that, they saw something there, so they set her up for a CT, and from there, in this month of last year, we'd found out that she did have lung cancer. It was pretty good size, but once again, it was inoperable, and so they put a port in her chest, and time they got everything all set up, she done her first round of chemo and stuff. It was like she had to do so many days of chemo and then 1 or 2 days of radiation, or vice versa. I can't remember at this point. And she started it on December 29th, my daughter's birthday. I have twin girls. And by the morning of January 9th, she had passed. So it's like we found out, and then she started her chemo and radiation, and like not even a week and a half later. And she loved Thanksgiving. So this month's going to kind of be hard. I'm sorry, y'all. Isn't really how I wanted to start out this video, but. And then she was down at Christmas last year, and then. So at least we got to see her right at Christmas and at Thanksgiving and stuff. But, so anyhow, I didn't pick up a needle for a good while, till the last couple months. So, anyhow, I just want to kind of get back into doing Flosstube and, like I said, have a sense of community and sharing what I'm working on, and just kind of keeping my hands and mind busy, especially at this time of year after what I just explained. So anyhow, like I said, sorry about that. Life sometimes is hard, and, you just try to deal and live with it and move on. And then I'm trying to get over the C word. I got it about 2 weeks ago, and I'd got it in June of 2022 last year, and I took Paxlovid and took about 2 weeks. I'm negative now, of course, but A week ago yesterday, or 2 weeks ago yesterday, not a week ago, 2 weeks ago yesterday, I started feeling off. My husband was sick first, and I started feeling off, and then by Friday I tested positive. So this Friday will be 2 weeks, but I'm tested negative now, and went to the doctor yesterday, and everything's all good. But if I'm a little congested sounding, I still have a touch in my head and sinuses. But I hope everyone's doing well. A little bit about me for those who are new to my channel, and for those, like I said, it's been a while. I've been stitching since I stitched my first project, I believe, when I was 16 or 17. I believe my mom or somebody had picked me up one of those really little tiny kits had the little hanger and stuff, and I didn't know exactly what I was doing, and so I just gave it a go, and some of my stitches was going one way and some was going the other way. And then I kind of picked it up when I was about 18 again. Stitched a little bit. I had my first son by that time, and I do have 4 kids. They're all grown. And so I've been stitching, and my birthday is this month, November the 10th. So I'm hoping to have 10 new starts this month, because I definitely don't want to have new starts based off my age number. Sorry, guys, let me kind of, because that would be quite a few starts. So I'm going with the day of the month, the 10th day. So I'm going to try to at least do 10 new starts for this month for my birthday. As I said, I do have 4 kids, 4 grown kids. My oldest is 28. My son Jeremy, and then I have a son Cody, he's 25, and then I have twin girls that I mentioned when I was talking about my mom. They'll be 24 December 29th. I only have one left at home, and one of the twin girls, and she's building her tiny home on the property. She is probably, I'd say, somewhere between halfway and 3/4 of the way. Not quite 3/4 of the way, but at least a good past halfway point of being done with it. Anyhow, enough rambling on. So therefore, I was trying to say I've been stitching for a while, on and off through the years. Life, as I said, gets in the way. Kids, raising kids, but I always stitched when I had kids, and my stepmom was like, how do you find time to do your crafting, stitching, and quilting with young kids? You have to carve out time for yourself. You have to, while they're taking a nap, if you have young kids, while they're, with the dad, your husband or the father or other family members. You got to find time for yourself. You have to. But let's jump right into it. I've rambled enough. I've cried on you. And I apologize for that. But it's hard to talk, it's still, as some of you who lost loved ones and relatives, it's a journey. And it's an ever-changing journey, but it's a journey. But anyhow, so I'm going to jump into some finishes I've had recently. These here, my ultimate goal, and I say this almost every year, and I need to just jump into it, is I want to get me one of those slim, about 6 foot tall or 5, somewhere in that area. But it's slim, it's not very big, I guess they call them pencil trees, a black Christmas tree. And I want to do a Halloween tree to put out every year with some ornaments. And I have, not a whole lot, but a good little start on ornaments. And so a couple years ago, I bought all that Halloween, Halloween ornament kits from Satsuma Street. And these are 3 of my most recent finishes here in the last year or so. And this one here I had completed the stitching on, and I just needed to finish it up, like cut it out and put the backing on it. Excuse me. And get it ready. This one here was one that was partially about halfway done, and I finished it up. And once again, it just needed to be cut out and finished up. And then this one here I stitched, the last one I stitched here in the last, I believe I had a small, good little kind of start on it, and then I finished it up when I picked back up stitching. Like I said, I do apologize. I'm trying to get over the big C, and still, like I said, it's still in my head. But anyway, so about 2 weeks ago, I sat down and cut all 3 of these out because you stitch them on perforated paper. And so I cut all 3 of these out. And I do have a lot of materials left. I believe I can almost stitch another one. They get plenty of extra beads and extra sequins because there is some beading and some sequins. It's not very heavily done. Some kits more than others have the beads and the sequins. So I did get them cut out a couple weeks ago. And then last week I took the time to sit down and glue them to kind of, it's not overly heavy duty like scrapbook paper or cardstock, but it's not paper thin either. So here's the little hangers, and I'll show them again once I cut them out from the paper. But here's the cat one. You can see the sequins for the eyes, and it's got beading all down through here. And that's the little hanger that came with it. And then here is the spider one. See, it's got the sequins right through here and beads all through the spider web. And here's the eye of newt. And this one's not as beaded quite as heavily, but it does have some beads in there. Sorry, I'm trying to get that hanger out of the way so you can see a little better. But you're seeing, this is the wrong side of the paper, and this is what the back looks like. It's kind of like a shiny, it's kind of got a metallic sheen to it, but it's not heavily metallic. And I just use the Arlene's craft glue to glue them down, and I don't saturate them. So what I need to do next is, you know, trim them out roughly from the cardstock and then trim them closely to where I cut the perforated paper. So, you know, but I like to have backings on my Mill Hill kits, the little ornaments I do for that, this type of thing. So you don't see the raw stitching on the back if the ornament would happen to turn or whatever. I have used felt in the past. I do keep felt on hand. Sometimes I'll do felt and sometimes I'll do, I have used the thinner card scrapbook paper on some of them. Excuse me. But once I get these cut out, I will show them to you again in another video. Today is, I forgot to say that, but today I'm trying to make a little spot on the couch to put stuff after I've shown you. And after I was crying a little bit, it made things worse in my head. Today is November the 1st, the very first day of November. I hope everyone had a good Halloween last night. This here, next finished piece, if I can talk, piece, is a Lizzie Kate. Finding something to put behind it. I don't quite have the name of it, but it was a little kit. It came with, this is a purplish color, like a purple gray kind of color. It did come with the fabric. It did come with the threads and the little charm and the few little beads it took. But that, if you can't tell, that's A, B is in the middle, and C, and it's kind of blockish, but top lettering. It did have overdyed threads in the kit. I just love those little bees. The little wings on them, they are so cute. Yeah, there's 2 bees. One right there and one back over here. But this was a quick little stitch. This was a new start too, and stuff. So I'm trying to decide what I'm going to finish it as. And I really don't want to put it in a frame because it's really tiny. It's only about 2.5 inches by maybe about 5. I think I'm going to turn it into a pillow. I think that's what I want to do with it. I really need to get better about concentrating and, excuse me, about getting fully finishes done. I am so sorry about all the sniffling, y'all. And the next one I had finished, I finished this up. I had started this. This was not a new start for me, though. I had started this well over a year ago. and had quite a bit done on it, but it's a shepherd's bush. Like I said, I don't have the patterns here beside me somewhere in my little, but I've been looking for a frame for this one. It's a 5x7, and another floss tuber has a place on Etsy, and I haven't had a chance to really sit down that she gets her frames from, and I really liked them. I just took a quick look around when she shared the link. I haven't had much time, but I'm thinking, because I put mine on foam core board and I pin it, and you need to have enough, I believe it's called the rabbit, which is the depth, where the inside is, to where you have to have a good little amount sometimes for foam core board, like more of the professional framing mats versus what you could just get off stock shelf like at Walmart or wherever. Because this is a 5x7. I don't think I want to mat it, because I just you had to stitch this little back stitch border all the way around the entire piece, except on the very bottom, but where that specialty stitch is right here. And I think I just kind of would like it the way it is and just put it in a 5x7 frame. But the sheep have, I don't know if you can tell, these little tiny beads right here in the very center of them. There is 3 buttons over here. In the last handful of years, and here recently, I started collecting a lot of shepherd's bush. I really like the kits because it does have all the specialty stitches, and I think it keeps it, for me personally, from getting so boring. This little rose here is done 1/1. That's how it called for. But she puts a lot of, this one is not as specialty stitched as some of the other ones I've done. But like this row here, that's satin stitch, these here, and then that was a stitch, and then these here, these rows, it's hard to kind of tell, that was a specialty stitch. The one on the bottom here is a specialty stitch. But I really like this one a lot. Okay, another finish is another shepherd's bush, and I finished this back in October, so about 2 weeks ago, maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. I just stored it in the thing kit it come in. This is shepherd's bush spooky spots, and even though I'm showing you this, I'm getting ready to show you the actual finished piece. This has some nice specialty stitches in it. It really needs to be ironed. I ironed it one time, and I should have ironed it well before I put the buttons on it, but this here is spooky spots. It's more in the style of a sampler. This here was really fun. I really like this. I believe that was called a Florentine stitch. And then this stitch here, the top border is a specialty stitch, and this one had a lot of specialty stitches in it, but nothing that you couldn't, that witch is so stinking cute, and her broom, let me try to get it where you can see the broom good. The broom is really cute. But this came with the fabric. It was a really nice fabric in the kit to work with. But yeah, I was really glad to get this one done for Halloween, and it has several buttons. It has this jack-o'-lantern button. Then the witch's hat is a button. Then the star here is a button. And then the bat up here is a button. Look at the C for the cat. Is that not cute? The little spider hanging. It's kind of hard to see, but that's a G, and it's spelled out ghost out the side of it. But anyhow, this is stitched in silks, and they come with the kit. Let me lay this down over here. And here's the leftovers and stuff. I actually found yesterday or the day before when I was going through some stash, I had bought this a long while ago. So I have a second of this kit. So I don't know if I maybe would resell it on a group or something and get the money back and move it forward on the stash. Okay, so that is it for finishes. I believe I do have some finishes I can show you on another video. I'd have to pull them. Excuse me. That I finished up while I was on hiatus and not making videos. One of them, I can't remember if I've shown it. I would have to look back on my older videos. Is a mirabilia, if I can speak. And I have several other little finishes here and there. So I'll have to check and see. I've got one, and I'll show it towards the end, that I was hoping to get that finished for the month of October too. It is the Tiny Modernist, the Haunted Mansion. I have just maybe got maybe another day or two of good stitching on it. I was really pushing for a finish. And I was hoping to have it done by midnight last night for Halloween. But I did get the spooky spots done, like I said, about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. But I did have a doctor's visit yesterday just for checkup and stuff. And I just wasn't feeling the best for me trying to recover and everything from being sick. And so I didn't do any stitching on it. So I am determined to get it finished before the end of the year. And probably by the next time I make another video, I should have it finished. And I'm going to show it to you, but it's actually on my wooden frame. And so it's right behind my camera. And so, like I said, right before I'm done, I'll pause the video and turn it around and show you. Let's see. Where to go from here? This here is a older Dimensions kit. I'm trying to remember when I started this. I would have to look back on my Instagram. It's called Daydreaming Angel, and I'm talking it's 1996 is the copyright on this. So it's just cute. I like the florals that's kind of depicted there, and just the way the angel's looking and stuff. There's something out there making a beeping noise of a vehicle or something that's backing up. Anyhow, here's my progress on this one. The needle minder, I know it's kind of weird to have a margarita or martini glass on an angel piece, but I just felt like that just matched some of the colors in here really well when I was grabbing a needle minder up. But I need to put the details in her face. I got started on the dove up here, and here's her wings, and like some, I've got a lot of the dress done. If I put, 3 or 4 days into this, I could probably, good solid days, I could probably have this one done. I'd like to have this one done by the next time I show you. I tend to have just a couple of projects, unless I pick one up and fall in love with it, like I did the spooky spots, and just like knock it out. When I'm not working on the Haunted Mansion, I'm working on this one. But I'm going to try to diversify and work on more projects than just a couple. So I can, enjoy and get to some of my projects, because why not, So there's that one. Let's see. So I'm going to show you a couple of my older WIPs that I'd like to give some more attention to, at least if it's just a couple days this month. Like I said, I'm going to try to start branching out and trying to find the picture for it. This is a Whispered by the Wind design. It's an older design also. And this here, for the picture, like they used to do, is a photograph. It says, "The morning sun begins the day and warms all." What does that say? I'm going to turn the light on for a second. "The morning sun begins the day and warms all nature's face." So it's always all nature's face at the end. Sorry, my eyes have gotten worse and I need to go to the eye doctor. I do have eyeglasses, but they're not very strong. I just felt like that. And I pulled this one this past week because WIP, because it's just very fall to me. And I wanted to put some time in on it. I haven't, oh, it picked up the needle minder, picked up a brand new pair of scissors. And I didn't realize it. So I love to collect scissors. Stitching scissors. That is. So here's my progress on this. I haven't worked on this. I probably started this 2 or 3 years ago. And I haven't worked on it since. It was for when I was in a group. And I lost my Facebook last year, a year before. Don't even know what got posted. And whatever it was so bad that they didn't, I wouldn't say what to do, ban my account. But I couldn't get back into my account. Someone had hacked me, posted something horrible. Don't know what it is. And so I had to start my Facebook all over again. And I would never post, I stay away from religious and political posts, even on my own personal Facebook. That's just not something I feel like most people you should put out there because it's very argumentative. Everyone's entitled to their own beliefs and opinion. It's just that I tend to stay away from that type of thing. I don't post even on my personal page, that stuff. But here is, and so the group I was in for this was lost to me. And I can't quite remember. It was like where you had to stitch a theme. And Cheryl, I can't remember her last name. She did have a Flosstube channel. She started the group, but I believe she stepped down from it right before I was last participating. And you'd stitch so many stitches, and you'd get tokens, and then you could turn them in. Anyway, so I remembered this WIP, and I've got to start on the house and the sky. And I don't know exactly what, I like this fabric. I wish I could, if anyone recognizes this fabric, it's the kind that has like the little places in it. Please let me know in the comments, because I have another project that I'm going to show you I'd like to start. But I'd like to start it on this type of fabric. Instead, but like I said, I want to pick this back up and give it some love and attention. I did buy me some fabrics a few weeks ago because I am a quilter also, and I want to make me some project bags. I've got bought some zippers, and oh, better put that back in there. And I just need to get them done. Sit down. I've never made a project bag, but I'm sure it will be no problem. But I bought some in Halloween themed fabrics, which I stitch what I want. I'll be stitching on Halloween in the springtime. I'll be stitching on spring and summer stuff in the wintertime. I am not a set in season stitcher. I am not set in a certain theme. I like a lot of different things. So you will see a variety from samplers, Quakers, Mirabilias, seasonal, all kinds, from all kinds of different designers. If I see it and I love it and I want to stitch it, that's what I do. Okay. What other WIP did I pull? Oh, okay. It's all right here in a little pile. Okay, here it is. Make sure I don't drop the threads. This one I was working on, I believe I started last spring or summer. Make sure these threads don't fall out of here, because when I gathered it up, I need to make, like I said, I need to make some project bags. It's a dimensions kit called Floral Flamingo, and I recently saw someone complete this one, but I started mine last spring or summer, and stuff. And so I like flamingos, I like fairies, I like, things along those lines too, along with samplers, as you see, for what I plan on some of my starts that I'm going to show you next. But I got a decent little start on this. So here's the threads that I just kind of put in there. Let me set this to the side. And I got this on a scroll frame. Make sure I got it the right way. And put something behind it. Okay. But this is where I am on this one. octopus needle minder and just these here, all this green background that you saw in the picture, it's half stitches. These here are full stitches, all the florals and the flamingo, but all that green, which really helps because as you can see, there is a lot of that background to do. But all that background is half stitches, half cross stitches. So that's where I'm at on that. And I pulled this one when I pulled the one I just showed you. I want to pick this back up and give it some love. And like I said, even though we're in fall, going into winter, I would like to stitch on that one. I think I would like to have it done for this coming summer, hopefully, and up on the wall. I'm really bad to stitch stuff, finish the stitching, but not completely, fully finish it. Does anybody else do that, or is it just me? I'm sure there's a lot of other people who do that, but it'll go in a drawer, or I'll put it back in the bag, and it'll just sit there, and which is kind of sad because you put all that time and effort into it, and you really need to display your work. It's not that I'm not proud of my work, it's just, it's a bad habit. Okay, some of the things that I'm going to hopefully start for my birthday. Like I said, I like to do 10 starts. I've never done this before. So here's some things I've pulled and more than likely considering. And the reason I asked if anyone recognized that fabric is because I want to start this kit. It's Be Thankful, and it's by Diane Authors. It says Live, Love, Laugh, Be Thankful. And even though I'm not, set in stone seasonal stitcher, I do, I guess unlike some of the others, I do like to stitch something that is in season. It's just that time of year and it calls to you. But this is 14 count, and I believe it's called Fiddler's Cloth, Ada. And if nothing else, I'll stitch it on this. Those colors are so autumnal, are they not? So beautiful. But I'd really like to stitch it on a 28 count of what I showed you, and I have no clue where I got that, or if it was a piece. I believe it's a piece I just grabbed off one of the Stash and Load groups. But this is going to be one of my new starts for my birthday, I believe. I'm doing these in no particular order, just kind of where they're at on the pile here. Okay, I want to start this for my birthday. It's Nora Corbett's Luna Moth. I'm lucky to have a local needlework shop, or at least local, close enough in the same county as me. Barefoot Needle Arts in Surfside Beach. I believe it's Surfside or Garden City. I did get my fabric from there, and that is still bagged up because I want to do a haul video. I went several times last month, and the stuff's still sitting in the bag because I'd been considering doing Flosstube again, and I wanted to share it. But look at her. Is she not adorable? So I do have the bead pack. It just calls for 4 packages of beads, and then there's a star in there. Probably there you can kind of see it. It's flipped around backwards so you can't see the front side. That's the back side of the star. But those are the bead colors. And I do have the Krennic, however you say it. It just calls for one of those. And then it calls for 2 of the watercolor Water Lilies by Karen Silks. And they are so pretty. And I did, I have a Michael's haul too, where I bought all the called for DMCs that's required for it. And I got my fabric from Barefoot Needle Arts. It's a greenish color. I didn't pull it because, like I said, I want to kind of do a haul for that. But I will re-show the pattern when I do the haul. I may do like another video in the next week or so just for a haul video for that, because for people who's not interested in seeing haul. And that's another thing. Do you guys like seeing haul? I I showed it before when I tried doing my other videos, but I'll do it at the end. So if I'm not really showing any haul, I'm just showing projects I want to start. But for future videos, I'll show it at the end, and that way if you're not interested for whatever reason in seeing haul, or not to be tempted so much, you could click off. But anyhow, here's the next one I'd like to start. I grabbed this last month, end of the month before, off of a Stash Unload group. And I guess the stitcher who was reselling this, it's Joyful Snowman by Dimensions. She had used the fabric, and there's no needle in there, but that's no big deal. But she didn't use the floss that come with it at all. Either she converted this and the patterns here with instructions, which I don't need the instructions, but just the pattern with, you know, telling you how much to back stitch and all that stuff. So I've got some, and this kit originally that I guess that she used or needed the fabric out of. It was 14 count, and I'm going to use a 28 count white to stitch this on. But this, and I've got that. I just haven't gathered it up. I mean, you guys, I'm sure it's white fabric. So that's another start. So that's 1, 2, 3. I don't think I have quite 10. And so I'll show you in another video what I'll be doing. If I can get it. Okay. So the next one, and I almost started this a couple weeks ago. I pulled it out, looked at it, fondled it, you know how we do. This is Praiseworthy Stitches, Simple Gifts Christmas. I think I've seen someone stitch this, and I'm not 100% sure if I did, it was a good while ago. It doesn't have very many thread colors, but they are variegated threads. I did pick up my specialty threads and the fabric from Barefoot Needle Arts. This is a pretty good size piece. If you use 28 or 14 count fabric, it's 15 1/8 inch wide by 14 1/2 inch high. And I am using 32 count, and 32 or 16, if you stitched on 16 count, is 13 1/4 wide by 12 3/4 high in inches. And it called for 6 skeins of sampler threads in Midnight, 2 skeins of Indian Summer by WIPS, and 2 skeins of Whiskey by WIPS. So it's really only 3 colors, but it takes, like at Midnight, takes quite a bit. And with me stitching it on 32 count, you know, this should be plenty. But here's my Midnight. And then let me set that there. And then here is the other 2 floss colors. And when I was picking out my fabric, you know, the background's kind of ivory looking, maybe tannish color that this was stitched on. I picked out XU Designs Willow Green. It's a linen, 32 count, and I got a fat quarter of it. But this here, I thought that would look so good, those colors. And the green is such a Christmassy color. Whoops. Sorry, I'm trying to grab all this up. I thought that would look really, really good and really festive on there. And there's the card. They just held a retreat about last weekend or the weekend before. I had the opportunity to go last year before, but things come up, and so I wasn't able to go, and it's local to me, so I wouldn't have to really stay at the hotel. But now there's like a wait list for their next retreat, the first of next year. I believe it's like early spring or something. So just be aware that there is a wait list. I've had this one kitted up for several years. I'm going to stitch it on 28 count even weave also. It's Stitcher's Days of Christmas by Sue Hillis Designs. And I just think that's really cute. Not to show the chart because there's a little bit detailed chart right there, but here's all the threads I have kitted up for it. And I'm like I said, I'm going to just stitch it on white even weave 28 count. So I'd like to start that one for my birthday. This one here is Heartwarmers Bell Pull by Lori Birmingham Designs. It's an older kit. I also picked this one up off a Stash Unload group. The glare is really bad. It's snowmen. And it says, like, be kind, be warm, be loved. And this one had a small start on it from whoever or whomever I had purchased it from. And maybe they just weren't interested in it, or it wasn't their thing, or whatever, for whatever reason. I didn't get a reason. I just liked it and purchased it. But it's stitched on a sampler band. And someone had done a running stitch down the center to kind of help them with their design. And the only start they have is I believe they're called Algerian eye stitches. That's the only little start they have on this. So even though it's kind of started, I haven't touched it to work on it. And here's it has a lot of charms with it and beads that goes on it. And it's also got this specialty thread that's stitched into it. So like I said, even though it started, I haven't personally worked on it, so it's a new start to me. And so this is going to be one of the starts for for my birthday. Oh, let me put the threads back in there. This is another one, and I had actually was looking at this fabric because I was going to try to order I believe it's Fossil, the fabric called for. I've had this one kitted up for a while. I use little index cards to write the name of the pattern, and like has all floss, so I know I'm not. And then if I need floss, I'll write the missing DMC 310 need 470, whatever. If there's specialty threads, I'll write down need weeks, whatever. Why am I trying to do this here? Anyway, it called the one on the front called for Fossil by Colorscape Hand Dyed Fabrics. And I was like, I really kind of like the back. That's what I was doing, open it. Oh, I'm losing it. I was taking the index card out of the way so you can see the design. I really liked what it was stitched on. This is Little River Designs. Welcome to the Pumpkin Patch number 182. It calls for two or three specialty threads. It's these here and this reddish here, but the rest is DMC. And I was like kind of messing with my stuff and trying to see what I wanted to start for my birthday. And I had picked this up off of one of those Stash and Load groups. And it's Fiber on a Whim 32 count earth. And the piece, of course, is big enough. It's a fat quarter, approximately 19 by 26. I just left that in there so I could identify it. And it's 32 count. And I just thought this, and I done a floss toss last night. This would be perfect for it, I think. It's a good size piece. It's showing up pretty true to color. It needs to be ironed before I start stitching on it though, for sure. And I believe, my bag fell. I believe that I will have plenty enough to maybe do some other smaller design on it. So, and I thought, well, since it's a good size piece, should I save it for another project and stuff? But I could still probably get two out of it. And I thought, no, I think this would look really good. Use what you have. And I mean, otherwise it's just going to keep sitting there. So I'd like to start this for one of my 10 birthday starts. Okay, up next, and this is the last thing I have to show you for right now. Like I said, I'm not going to show any haul, but I have a ton of haul, to be honest with you. This here I had picked up either off of eBay or one of the Stash Unload groups. I think it was the Stash Unload group, or I can't remember eBay. It's Shepherd's Bush Apple Kissed Autumn. I do know you can still find this on eBay because I was looking at it, and I believe I did get it off a Stash Unload group. But this here, no, I know where I got this. I got this from McKenna, her 1884 stitchery, a year ago. It had been started. I haven't touched it other than to look through and make sure everything's there. You know, all the flosses and the stuff. It does come with this little pack of beads, of course, and there's a little, if you can see it, there's a little squirrel charm that will go on it. Super, super cute. So I have not personally stitched this. This is another person's stitching, and this is how far they got on it. It's not a very wide piece at all, but it is long. So they got a good little start on it. The scarecrow with a bird. This is a row of birds. There's some specialty stitches there. This here is a row of apples. And this here is a pumpkin and started the saying. And the only thing this previous stitcher didn't do is there's a row of specialty stitches right under these apples. And so from there going forward on the pattern, here is the pumpkin. So from here down will be me. And even though I don't mind usually, as long as the stitching, if I can tell in the picture that the stitching looks good enough for me that the previous person had done, I'm good with picking up someone else's work and just finishing it, giving this piece new life and getting it completed. So even though I haven't stitched on this, this is a new to me and will be what I consider one of my birthday starts. The only thing I noticed when I was looking everything over, some of these red beads, they stitched stitches, and down the center front, it should have a couple of red beads. And I'm going to either leave it like it is, just stitch the red beads where they're supposed to go over the stitching, or I may try to pull out the stitching around that area and replace them with the red beads with no stitching under it. I don't know yet. I'm still deciding upon that. I'm sure I have plenty of time to make that decision. But, you know, that's the only thing I noticed that was off about this. One other thing I wanted to show you guys is something that I started a couple weeks ago too, in October. Is this embroidery piece. It goes, I think it goes, which way does it go? That way. I got this stitched. You can't really see it, but there's the rest of the design because I need something behind it. And satin stitching this flower here. But that's something, you know, it's not cross stitch, but it is embroidery stitching. Thought I'd share with you guys. But other than that, that's about it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it wasn't too bouncing around everywhere with thoughts and ideas and speaking and sniffles and stuff like that. I'd like to at least do once a month, the very first of every month, but we'll see how it goes. I've got a lot of plans. Let's see how many projects that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 8 projects. I'm 2 projects shy, but I did think about, I had actually opened this and was thinking about starting it last night for the final hoorah, which of course I will start Halloween any time of the year, but just kind of as the final for, it's an older Mill Hill kit called Autumn Harvest, Harvest Moon. That's what it is, Harvest Moon. I thought about starting this last night, but the prep of getting everything ready, I just wasn't feeling the best all day yesterday. I just didn't. So that will more than likely be one of the starts that would make 9. So I need to find one more, or decide upon one more project, find one more project. I got plenty of projects sitting around or that is ready to go. It's just deciding on a 10th one. And I don't want to get too crazy with too many. Oh, I almost forgot. I need to show you the my whip of the Haunted Mansion by the Tiny Modernist. I just don't want to get too crazy. I'm not, like I said, I normally work on just a couple projects at a time. But I'd really like to have more diversity at the same time. So that's what I'm thinking about. So let me pause you for a second, and I will flip the camera around and show you this project, okay? Okay, let me flip my phone this way. I'm sorry. So this here is the Tiny Modernist, the Haunted Mansion. It was a stitch, or not a stitch along, but I'm sure there's been a stitch along maybe on it. I'm not sure. It was a mystery that was put out by the Tiny Modernist about 3 years ago or so, approximately. She does, or they do tend to put out these mystery stitch, I think it's stitch alongs. It's where you can purchase them for Halloween and Christmas. But I've got a lot done on this. If you follow me on Instagram, you would see me posting this a lot. I love that moon. Big old moon. I mean, that moon's pretty good size. So this project has been in the works for about 2 to 3 years, I'd say approximately. I had got, let me finish showing you the rest of it down here. If you could see, there is also, without it getting too dark, this. So these pumpkins down here, these 3 here, this tree over here, the moon, this part of the bats, and the roof here was all done. It had sat here for a while. I left the tension loose on the scroll rods. So in the last month to month and a half, I first started picking up that Daydreaming Angel when I was trying to get back into stitching after my mom's passing. Like I said, it took me months and months. I struggled really, really, really hard with it. But the Daydreaming Angel I picked up first. And then this had been sitting here in the living room off to the side. And I was like, well, I really want to start working on this again. So here in the last month and a half, I've got all these stars and bats on this side, this entire roof, more or less the whole left side. So got this room. And the other day, when I was wanting to really try to push for the day before, let's see, yesterday was Halloween. So the day before Halloween, so which was what, Monday? Yes, Monday. I had almost nearly on Sunday got this back stitching on. I'd got all the back stitching done, but this very last row of books, I needed to finish that back stitching. So I finished that back stitching on that Monday. From about right in here all the way down and all this here, I stitched Monday. This entire roof I connected to this side right here in the center. I stitched the entire skeleton and the top part of that block there, and this line down through here. So I got a lot of stitching done on Monday. Let me show you what I have left. So the reason it's blurred out is because it was a mystery and stuff. But even though this one here would probably work, because it's that only one there, and you see what that room looks like. It's those ghosts there. So what I have left is finishing this little, see that little hill section? Finishing the little hill section with that purple. Finishing up that block with the skeleton in it. Doing the grass under the tree and the fence, the wrought iron fence, and this grass. And then up to about where the steps start here over to do that. And then, what do I have stitched on here? I have that pumpkin right there. So I'm to this pumpkin here. So where the RIP headstone is, over to the left, is where I need to finish up. And this fabric here, I had hand dyed myself at the time, right before I started this project. It's an even weave. It was white, and I just dyed it. So there's that. It was a 7-part mystery series. I just love the little spider webs that's all throughout the little spooky house over there. And I backstitched this as I stitched it, especially since I had it on scroll frames and not, so it wouldn't be so much backstitching at once. There is, right here, if you could see after you put the purple in, there is some bats and backstitch crosses and a tree that you do in that little area. It's, I like frightening Halloween designs and I like cute Halloween designs. But this one's more on the cuter side. And I don't know, I just like the piece. So anyhow, that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed your time visiting with me and stuff. I will have to get back into doing videos a little bit better. I've always, it's been a while, and I hope to stay consistent and to make friends on here. Barefoot Needle Arts does have, a stitching where you can get together and stitch every Saturday, but once again, life does sometimes tend to get in the way. I just want to be a part of a community and make friends and share ideas and enjoy this passion that we have for this craft and hobby, and together with like-minded people. So if you will, please subscribe. Please leave a comment if you want to interact with me. I'd be more than happy to talk to you. Please like the video if you liked it and stuff. So hopefully I may do a video on just haul, and I will label it as such, haul only video or something like that, because I do have several purchases from Barefoot Needle Arts if you're interested in seeing that, what all I got from there. I did buy quite a few patterns, so that would be something, if anyone needs any help adding to their stitchy stash. I know when I watch Flosstube videos, I'm like, I'll start going searching for it. So thank you for spending some time with me. I really appreciate it. Until we talk again next time, take care and be well and stay safe. Bye-bye.